Ryomen Sukuna, the king of curses and the monarch of madness in the Jujutsu world. He's likely the only entity that could possibly be stronger than Gojo Satoru and has all the tools as a special grade curse to rule over this modern world. So how strong is he really? Hello, what's up my brothers? This is Enemy Stand User, and today we have a long overdue video on Sukuna. And looking back through my 1 year on YouTube, I've never actually done a proper video on him, so what better than to talk about his power in the series and brush up a little bit on his character and how he could likely be the very strongest in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. Sukuna is a lot of people's favorite. His presence gives a huge impact whenever he's on screen due to Gege's awesome writing, and he is shrouded in mystery, and there are multiple unknowns about him, but one thing is for certain: Sukuna is an utter powerhouse. His power leaves a big impact on the world, and so far we've only seen like ripples of his power echo in the series. So let's just dive in and talk about Ryomen Sukuna, his abilities, and his standing as potentially the strongest entity in all of Jujutsu history. So to start off this video, let's look into a bit of the fundamentals with Sukuna's character, and even a bit of his origin. As far as we know, what we currently understand about Sukuna is that he was once a human from 1,000 years ago, but became a powerful demonic entity that was often regarded as the king of curses. He was given this title because in the golden age of sorcery in the Heian period, Sukuna fought and ultimately defeated powerful sorcerers in that era, probably some of the best shamans to ever live, but he still came out on top. Even after the event where Sukuna died, his essence was so powerful that he was inevitably sealed into 20 different cursed objects, so the sorcerers really weren't even able to destroy him. Sukuna's presence now has come back into the world in 2018, where our boy Yuji Itadori decided to consume the cursed object, and now we have a 1 in a million chance situation where Sukuna has a capable host and is starting to make his comeback. Now as far as inspiration goes, Gege Akutami could have based Sukuna off of the in real life Ryomen Sukuna, who was translated and described as being a two-faced specter and a walking calamity. Now in the Nihon Shoki legend, Sukuna has a bit of a reputation as he was an enemy of the imperial family, and they spread propaganda of Sukuna being this malignant and evil force that spreads suffering and chaos wherever he goes. This legend lines up with Jujutsu Kaisen canon, as even his depiction is parallel stated as having 4 arms and 2 faces in his true form. He likely can be very well regarded as a demon god, as no one could stop his onslaught, and his nature as a curse was terrifying, almost as if his presence was very dark, uncanny, malicious in a godly way. I'm really about to be a buck with y'all about Sukuna's malevolent nature, as Sukuna is actually the most evil, uncanny force in the series. So trigger warning here, but Sukuna actually has been hinted at being a cannibal. Sukuna eats people. More specifically, in the past, he probably ate human children for fun, and he assaults women in femicide and brutally mass murders people on some extreme levels of chaos and carnage and blood. So please remember that the next time you simp for him, because he is a literal demon, and with him, demon time is all the time. Sukuna does not at all care what he does, who he kills, and absolutely loves chaos and battle and bloodshed. He threw away everything that he had from his personality and his feelings as a human, and he only lives to satisfy himself and his desire. Sukuna is now a monster, and it took the combined strength of some of the strongest sorcerers in history to seal him. With that being said though, let's look at the events of the series and how his powers are and his abilities to see how strong he is in the series of Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's first look at his curse technique, Dismantle and Cleave. Now this technique is one of the abilities to where I consider it to be a honed, refined technique. When I say refined, I mean this technique is already loaded to the max as far as cursed energy control, cursed energy manipulation, and overall potency against outside factors. This innate technique gives Sukuna immense control over his slashing attacks, allowing him to literally slice through anything with one hit using his claws. Dismantle is the basic application, giving this Sukuna a general slashing attack, and Cleave is the more refined action, allowing him to adjust and adapt his cuts to different targets and their cursed energy levels. This is why I say this ability is very refined, because it is so precise, potent, and dangerous to anybody around him, and is also very practical as well. This ability is very deadly. In the Fearsome Womb arc, with Sukuna's first appearance and his reawakening in 2018, Sukuna immediately killed the school curse using Cleave to splay it. The next instance it was used was against the special grade curse finger, which was on the lower spectrum of strength, but being a special grade meant that the finger had immense power and cursed energy levels that respectively held the power of one finger. The curse had fast regen healing powers with reverse curse and could roughly manifest powerful waves of cursed energy. This still never stopped Two-Finger Sukuna, as he used Dismantle and Cleave to completely outclass the curse in his attacks with its far more potent and refined effects, as Sukuna could literally cut up the finger and toy with it. Even much later in the story, in the Shibuya arc, when it's used when Sukuna fought the Calamity Jogo, Dismantle and Cleave was still able to cut through him with ease, and I actually think Sukuna chose not to use it all that much to avoid just outright killing Jogo, so he could actually enjoy the battle till he got bored. I really feel like Sukuna's technique is not really limited at all by what it could cut, other than another person's strength level. But you know who's actually going to be strong enough to stand against Sukuna the King himself? This technique really could actually one-shot most opponents if they're not careful. But now on to the last example, where it was used as Mahoraga was summoned, and Sukuna used Dismantle and Cleave to initially damage the curse, but it ultimately adapted to the slashing attacks and was able to defend against it. This is also sort of a testament to Sukuna's potency with the ability, as Slash and Cleave is probably an invisible technique, and it still had a hand in defeating the most powerful Shikigami curse that we have ever seen. This brings us to Sukuna's next ability though, being the next step over his curse technique. Sukuna's very own refined domain expansion called Malevolent Shrine. This domain is very different from other ones that we've seen in the series, as he forms no actual barrier. It is like in that Sukuna uses his innate domain like an artist that spreads his work on a canvas, using the very air around his set space to manifest his curse technique, a truly divine ability on Sukuna's part. Within this set 200-meter space, Sukuna made an escape route for Megumi, acting as a binding vow. So the domain's range shrunk to 140 meters, and the effective range guaranteed hit effect increased. So now in quick succession, the ability ran rampant in Shibuya. For everything with cursed energy, Cleave. For every inanimate object, and humans too, Dismantle. Until Malevolent Shrine is gone, it will relentlessly attack all targets within its guaranteed hits effective range. This is the most destructive technique that we've ever seen in the series so far, and Sukuna killed tons of innocent people and wiped out everything in the effective hit area. Nothing was left. Everything was cut to oblivion.